Hello, welcome to another season and Dark Crusade Season 2. The scene sets itself upon the separate travels of 3 individuals towards the same location, as all of them have decided that they want to meet the Seneschal. All for the same reason. Same person, same reason. How lovingly symmetric. Cool. All 3 of you are heading towards the same large building in the merchants district that you saw before. A multi-story building that kind of has one side that tiles off a little bit. And you are ushered in as you arrive and led up the stairs by what you are pretty sure are ghouls at this point, because there seem to be some reoccurring faces you're witnessing. You may intro.
Yeah, seen her walk in, the moment she walks in, sees the Seneschal, immediately curtsies, deeply and bowing her head. And we'll wait to be told to sit down.
Yeah, your shadow shuts the fuck up in his presence.
Madeline, for her part, will just greet the Seneschal, and she hasn't got anything she wants to say to him specifically. She just wants to make sure that this doesn't go too far because of reasons.
Orsini comes in, bows to the Seneschal as to the 2 ladies next to him, and just takes a seat.
So I hear you all want to speak with me. I presume it's a matter of great importance if it's garnered all of your attention.
I merely wish to discuss a couple of interests that I have had in the city with you, of course, Seneschal, but I think Lord Orsini wishes to bring up a very valid point that was agreed upon last night that he feels strongly about. Just smile over at Orsini.
Indeed, my lord. Something happened a few nights ago that might affect the image of our clan. Though seeing as one of the actors in this scene was Lady Alexandris' Childe, maybe she should be the one to present this case in front of you.
I see. What would be the matter that would disrupt our clan's reputation?
And Celine will, nod. There was an incident involving my child and Ancilla, I believe he was, of Clan Bruja. Took her and fed her blood and put a sort of spell or something under her. Used one of the Bruja disciplines or something, I believe. The incident was, once I found out, immediately reported to Ulrich, in which Eirene in the process was staked and brought over, and Ulrich has kept her safe. The effect he had put on her has now dissipated. She has also been returned to me, and I am keeping her safe and well and informed. The mistake was my own. I was out handling some of the business regarding the creature in the South Wall slums, and Eirene was lured away in Riverside. However, just smile. Both Madeleine and I have agreed that Madeleine will support in certain tutelage. Ulrich was witness to this, as well as Lord Orsini, but Lord Orsini feels that this is not enough, that he wishes, well, I do not no longer have custody of Eirene, that it be given to someone else.
I see. He just looks at Orsini for a sort of, is this accurate kind of look?
What Lady Alexandris told you here is indeed in part true. But there are three aspects that concern me. First of all, that I was informed about this action by a member of a different clan. Indeed, the said member was the one that tempted the fledgling, this Father Louis, this Ancilla of Clan Bruja. So the fact that I heard it first from him and not from one of my own clan is one of the matters of concern. The second would be that should her child have been adequately supervised, such a matter should not have happened. Whether it was through insufficient education of the child to present herself adequately in front of another of the blood, or whether it was insufficient protection of a child in front of someone who wished her harm, there is still a fault for which, according to the fourth tradition, Lady Alexandris finds herself guilty of. And the third point is, and I merely wish to state, that though the three of us here, along with Ulrich, had a conversation on this matter the other night, I feel that this matter is insufficiently handled, and Ulrich, being the only one of us that still holds a title to his name, invoked the fact that he is not bestowed with sufficient authority to take measures in this matter. I wish to come to you and present to you this case out of a genuine concern that our fledglings and our neonates not be turned into toys for the members of the other clan, lest we be made fools of ourselves by others. The fact that this comes from a member of a clan that is part of the triumvirate might ignite a flame that would spark conflict between the Lasombra and the Bruja should it reach certain ears, and might endanger our relationships with this noble clan.
Ears like mine, raises an eyebrow.
What did you say, Chris? Because I didn't get it.
Oh, sorry, he said ears like mine and raises an eyebrow. Also, the Baby Lasombra is here at Celine's feet.
Not ears like yours, my lord. Ears such as the ones of a certain Ventru that, from what we all know, wishes harm upon our clan.
From what I have gathered myself, my Lord Seneschal, this one is an outsider. From what Ulrich confirmed to me, the Bruja would be very, very egregious of what the offense has caused. Also, I have made sure my sources in both in Riverside and the surrounding areas, if any rumors should arise, so far they had been silent.
At least there is some form of damage control in place. What actions are currently being taken regarding the perpetrator?
I have my people in the area beginning to disrupt his attempts at the church. I have also concentrated on, and she'll smile, he works in the church, so I've concentrated on putting a few things in place to make sure he drowns, as you would say, Lord Seneschal. And when he comes gasping for the air, well, the decision is on you. What should I do with him? I do not want to break the traditions, and if your judgment is he should be handled that way, I will do so. But I am making sure that when we strike, he is sufficiently begging. She'll smile.
The interesting fact is, my lord, that this perpetrator came to my door just a few nights ago and confessed. He invoked the fact that he was unaware that this child was still a fledgling and that she was a member of our clan. He wishes to atone for his actions out of fear of his life, to be honest, and wishes no bad blood between our two clans.
And yet we have confirmation that he has already met Eirene, and yet knew, based on his company with Madeleine, that she presumably was one of us.
What actions is he taking to atone for his actions?
He told me he wishes to have a discussion with Lady Alexandris and present his apologies. Though I'm neither his friend nor his keeper, so I took his words with a grain of salt. Though from my...
That's a lie. Wrong manipulation subterfuge, because you said in the prior scene that you did not believe he was lying to you at all because he was in your domain. Out of character. So that is a direct lie.
I'm not lying. I said he might have lied, but I don't think so.
I mean, that's extremely misleading at best.
Fine, if you want me to roll for it, I'll roll for it. Manipulation, subterfuge?
Yeah, manipulation subterfuge because you're obfuscating the full truth.
Standard difficulty?
Yeah, no, difficulty 6. As normal, he will roll his own dice for this.
4 successes.
PCs at the scene don't really have to roll because they would know what Orsini said about the issue. So you're already aware that this is not actually particularly true and is at best a half-truth, at worst probably a lie. Or close to a mistruth rather than a lie. They're not quite the same things. He'll roll that. He has no specialty. He only gets 3, so yeah, you're fine.
His head tilt over at Orsini.
Still, the matter that concerns me more is not what happens to this particular Bruja. He is not of our clan. He is not our concern. Should you wish to give him a chance to redeem, or wish his head served upon a silver platter, your decision is your own, my Seneschal, and I will respect it to the letter. The matter that angers me more is the fact that one of our clan, though a fledgling, was made a fool of and a toy by a member of another clan as a direct result of improper supervision and improper education. It is this that I wanted to bring to your attention.
And yet, my Lord Seneschal, when matters were discussed and agreements made and compromises made and faults accepted, Lord Orsini continues to pursue the matter, and yet half-truths are said to you directly in front of your face. You go staring very coldly.
He seems largely unaffected by the accusatory tone towards individuals in the room.
Orsini looks straight at the Seneschal, completely ignoring Celine's intervention. My lord, should you find my words untrue in the slightest, I am more than happy to volunteer for you to use the powers of the blood and search my mind for the whole conversation. You know, I don't have a habit of forgetting things. And you can draw your own conclusions from the conversation I had with this Bruja.
He ponders this. Before I decide whether I should even bother attempting such a thing, might I get an elaboration as to what these half-truths are to begin with?
Orsini swore the Bruja was telling the truth. In fact, what was it? He would not lie to me on my domain.
I said last night, Lady Alexandris, that I believe he would not lie to me on my domain. That does not mean I believed what he said.
It's interesting you change your statements now, Lord Orsini. She'll just shake her head.
Seneschal looks back towards Orsini and Celine. Fairly level-headed, has his knuckles resting against his left cheek. I see. So what proposals have been made thus far, and what would be the conflict with these proposals?
The proposal that I agreed with Madeleine, and Ulrich was present and thought it was a logical idea, was that Eirene stays with me, but is under tutelage, under Madeleine, that Madeleine and I had agreed long before this incident had occurred. Madeleine is a very experienced kindred and, of course, formerly held a high position. I would recommend her teachings as well as my own in order to balance out, to ensure that this incident would never occur again. This seems to be a half measure in Orsini's mind.
What would be your proposal, Orsini?
I would propose that Lady Alexandris loses the custody of the child, and she be given to someone else, whoever else you saw fit, preferably someone who proved that they can handle Childe until their release with no incidents. I do not wish to claim her as my own, though Lady Alexandra suggested that. It is your decision and your decision alone, as both are Primogen and are Seneschal. I just consider that any implication that Lady Alexandra has in this fledgling's education might prove a potential weakness. To add to the fact that as a newcomer to the city, Lady Alexandris makes a few bold claims.
I am not the one who offended the Zemitzi on their own domain, Lord Orsini. You should say that full of venom.
I think, first of all, that I am the one on trial here, Lady Alexandris, and second of all, our Seneschal was made thoroughly aware of what I am supposed to do. Should the Zemitzi feel themselves insulted by me in any way, that is a matter to handle between me and them. I am a figure not well liked in the city, and I fully assume that, and I'm sure that all of this clan are aware of that fact. What I did when going to the Zemitzi, I did in my own name. Me as Fabio Orsini, not as me, Fabio Orsini, de Lasombra. And our Seneschal knows that.
And what I did to make sure this mess did not cause any harm was Celine Alexandra's clan Lasombra. I made sure that they were aware that you represented yourself, not of the clan.
I'm sure they are fully aware of that. What they told you is none of my concerns. The parties involved were announced properly and made aware of. You, unfortunately, Lady Alexandris, were not one of those parties.
I became one due to your lack of incompetence, Lord Orsini. She'll smile.
You mean lack of competence, not incompetence?
Oh, but you know, yeah, whatever. It's
Sleepy, sleepy,
it's
sleepy, sleepy.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, man.
Fair.
Yes, and pray tell Lady Alexandris, as Celine Alexandris of what clan did you loosen your grasp on your fledgling when she became a toy for a member of another clan?
And wait till he learns his lesson from that. My mistake, I own. I do not hide from it like you are doing. It was my mistake and my fault. I have admitted as such, and any in this room may ask, Lord Ulrich, I was the first to admit my failing. But I am here, claiming responsibility for mine. I have always served clan interests, and I always will continue to serve clan interests.
And there is also the matter that what I did fully aware of the traditions. And I was fully aware of the fact that I was almost, and I say this again, almost breaking domain. Though I announced myself, I came there with no weapons and no escort. And the Zemitzi were aware of my presence from the moment I set foot on their lands. I did not try to hide myself And I was fully aware that should I have broken that tradition, I should have taken my punishment. Though I did not do that. Yet you wish to hide and not take responsibility for a breach of the tradition of accounting.
Not take responsibility when I am right here. I have not hidden from you at all. I went to the proper authorities, as any would do. And if you doubt Lord Ulrich, well, that is my own, not my problem, Lord Orsini.
The proper authorities in clan matters. The only proper authority is the Primogen, not the hound.
So Lord Ulrich, elder of one of our own, I cannot come to him for advice, and we approach the situation quietly and quickly. Which would you prefer? Loud and barking like a rabid dog, or quiet and in the shadows, where no one will know what we have done? You were not even aware. And that was Lord Ulrich's judgment, and I trusted it.
Yeah, and I was made aware by a bruja, and I might have not been the only one made aware of that.
The same one, Lord Orsini. And for weeks he has been quiet. And this is the first time, and now look what he has done. Very clever strategy, no?
Lady Madeline, do you have anything to add to this? He kind of gestures with his he loosens his fist. The clenched fist that's supporting his head, and just kind of gestures it loosely.
I merely want this situation solved as soon as possible, so it takes up as little time as possible. It has taken quite a bit of time already.
Unless
I personally believe that with my guidance, it will be more than plenty of guidance for young Eirene to not fall astray once more.
I only wish to end my statement, my lord, by saying that accepting this shared responsibility is a punishment too lenient for the crime. I shall respect your decision, whatever it may be, for you are both my Primogen and my Seneschal. Though I am adamant when I state the fact that leaving a Childe on the hands of a careless sire could prove problematic should this thing happen just one more time. And the next time, the one that enthralls her could be a rival, or even worse, some of the followers of the Slayer that Ulrich told us about. We might find ourselves in more problematic situations. I am, and I wish to say only this, more than happy to subject myself and my mind to any investigation you see fit in this matter.
Seneschal looks how to put it, a mixture of unfocused and irritated at the room. I don't see the need to be invading anyone's mind regarding this particular incident. And if I were to invade yours, it would necessitate me invading someone else's, and well, this has already gone on long enough. I am quite aware of our abilities and limitations. There's a knock on the door. The Seneschal gesture for that person to come in. Cigars and torches. They go out. He'll send them off to light them again and try again. And they go off, they bugger off somewhere. Looks around the rather dark room with miserable shadows and most light and fire consumed. So my presence has been necessitated because I am supposedly the only one with the authority to remove people's Childe from their care. A compromise being made that Madeleine would aid Celine and refocus Eirene. The counterpoint being that Celine is a security risk to her Childe and should be passed on to a more responsible Cainite more fully. Am I correct in this summarization?
It would appear so.
Orsini simply nods.
I have acquired the full statements from everyone involved. Eirene, note he has not asked you a damn thing. I see no reason why this compromise is not a resolution in and of itself. Perhaps if this matter had not been highlighted in any way whatsoever, it would be considered a problem. But I don't see why my presence here is necessitated. If support from other members of the clan is being pulled in to right a wrong, I see little reason why I should personally intervene to correct that course when it is already occurring. Celine,
Yes, my lord.
put Childe on a tighter leash. I don't want this happening again.
It will be done, my lord. She bow her head.
We hold a prestigious position within this city and a fearsome reputation, but reputations, as you all know, are quite fragile. And it takes time to rebuild when cracks begin to show. Orsini, don't waste my time when matters have already been resolved.
Madeline just gets up, bows, and thanks the Primogen for his time, and will leave unless there is anything she needs to ask her.
I trust you will redirect Eirene back onto the correct path and perhaps assist Lady Alexandris in the correct methods of teaching one's child. He looks at you expectantly.
Of course, my Primogen.
Good. You may take your leave. I appreciate your presence.
Not at all. It is always a pleasure to meet you. And she will smile, curtsy again, and leave.
And with that, as the door closes, the Seneschal looks back towards the group of three, and he says, "That is currently the only person of any degree of self-control left within this room aside from myself. We have Isa who cannot look after her child. We have a child who cannot look after herself and follow common sense rules. And we have someone believing the words of a duplicitous priest. And dividing us with violent valedictions and very liberal interpretations of the traditions. In addition to the complete darkness that my current office is in. And the shadows just slowly begin to just be crushed into a small ball. Obviously they're natural shadows, so there's still shadows on the wall, they're just receding slowly. We have a good thing going on in this city. Something that we did not have but 60 or so meager years ago. I do not expect that to be threatened by infighting over the concerns of a single fledgling. And I expect you to control your damn gifts. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, my Seneschal. She'll dip her head.
Yes, my lord.
At this point, both of your shadows are barely even noticeable. They've just kind of, it's kind of like being out in the sun at midday. The shadow's so thin. Good. I expect results from all of you in the near future. I will be watching with greater intent. You may leave.
Celine will stand up. If I may, my Lord Seneschal, there is actual business that I wish to discuss with you regarding the Primogen from Zimitzi, Nosferatu, and Malkavian in terms of working with our clan.
Stay behind.
She'll nod and sit down.
Orsini bows, and as he rises, should my presence be no longer required, and as he turns for a second to Celine, or wished for, I shall take my leave, my lord.
He nods.
And Orsini bows and exits.
Celine will sit there awkwardly waiting to be told to speak.
Is Eirene still sitting there? Saskia. I think she actually fell asleep. Never mind.
No, I'm not.
Deep sleeper.
Sorry. What was asked?
Is Eirene still there with Celine?
Yeah.
Okay. Seneschal will point at her. You'll wait outside on the second floor with security.
Yes, my lord. Yeah, she'll stand up and wait outside.
Don't wander off again.
No, my lord.
He just points towards the door.
Yep. Out of the door she will go.
He slowly rests his hands back down on the desk, leans back in his chair. Bathing in the moonlight of the large window behind him.
She'll sit there, still quietly, tugging at her dress, waiting to be told to speak.
What is it that you wish to discuss?
Her head will shoot up. Both the Zimitzi Primogen is interested in working with us, as well as Mithril and Diara, the Primogen of the Nosferatu and Clan Malkavian. I have negotiated with them in terms of potential offers, but no concrete deal has been made, of course, as I cannot do that without your permission, my Seneschal.
Interesting. What pretenses do they want? Under what pretenses do they wish for an alliance?
The Zimitzi are interested in From the looks of things, they are trying to rebuild that fortress. They're more interested in our trade, our resources. They're also interested in accessing more of the noble side of things in terms of nobility. I can provide such support along with, if you choose so, Lady Katharina as well, with our efforts in House Obelian.
What would they be offering in return?
Forces, militarily by the looks of things, as well as more secure alliances in terms of the usurpers as well. If they plan to make a move, the Zemiti will give us more concrete information.
He thinks on this. Commercial resources can be diverted towards Tismisi if they're willing to return with politically backed military forces.
She'll nod.
Access to the higher courts of society will require more on their end, however. It will include information regarding the Tremere, and that information is expected to be shared mutually between us. So we would offer them information that we discover as well.
Of course, my lord.
But swords and bodies alone are insufficient for more sophisticated tools of control. Regarding the Nosferatu, I assume they're offering an information network to us.
She'll nod. They seem to be quite focused in that area, especially in terms of this creature that is skulking around the city and the underworld area in particular.
These are areas that are approaching redundancy for us. The underbelly of society is something we have much sway over to begin with. We could perhaps arrange for smaller arrangements between individual organizations among them.
She'll nod. I had myself and Duvan were planning to coordinate a more smuggling effort, as well as I have ties to that sort of organization. Perhaps an agreement between two parties of that might suffice.
It would be a start.
She'll nod. I will do so.
Even if it were a bargain made between two individuals, it still can build goodwill. I'm more interested in acquiring their sources as opposed to working with them.
She'll nod.
However, I can understand and appreciate why that would not be feasible. Perhaps we can arrange for a trade, in particular specifics and details of information that the other party might lack.
She'll nod. That I will do, and I can do so quite efficiently. She'll just dip her head.
I'm sure while they have the capabilities and do try their utmost to maintain some degree of clarity over the ivory towers of the mortal spectrum, it is an area where they would naturally struggle.
I will work out the balance and see what they will agree to as well. She'll just nod again.
Discuss that balance with me before making the offer.
Of course, my Seneschal. She'll just nod.
Lady Alexandris, you are how many years old?
105.
How many more decades do you think it will take before that nuisance stops being a problem? He looks at your shadow.
She'll look at it with a kind of a... She won't smile, but there'll be a weariness. I am underway in trying to investigate how to rid it. She'll look at him, poring over books and studies that I have, as well as what my sire has taught me.
How long have you been working on that solution? You can roll perception empathy on this, by the way.
Okay, I shall. I don't read him. God, Jesus.
No, he's a sly motherfucker, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You're nervous.
I'm nervous. That's it. And she will say, since I have came to the city, it has become a more increasing problem, particularly in my dealings with the higher members of society. It must be handled. She will say quite firmly, staring down at it.
That is the consequence of letting a wound fester.
She'll nod.
It may well be beyond your reach now. If you had acted sooner, this would most likely not be a problem for you to begin with.
My sire forbid me to act on it, my Seneschal.
On what pretense?
I must learn what it is like to suffer for a clan, was his lesson.
Be it far from myself then to impinge on lessons parted between sire and child.
She'll smile at him. If the lesson gets in the way of what the clan interests are, then the lesson is forfeit, no?
Are you certain you're in a position to be making such statements currently? Answer cautiously.
No, probably not, my Lord Seneschal, but I wish to be a functional member of this clan, and this mistake is my own, and I will not shying away from it. But I do wish to serve the clan faithfully, and if this problem gets in the way of that, I wish it to be removed, or at least controlled.
I'm sure you're aware we do not coddle our clansmen.
Of course.
Prove your worth, and additional lessons may be imparted to you.
I thank you, my lord, for giving me the opportunity. And she'll bow very deeply.
I trust you to handle the Bruja by yourself.
Most assuredly, my Seneschal.
If nothing else, at least your absence around your child was marked with productivity. Is there anything else you wish to discuss?
The Malkavians are making offers, but nothing presentable yet. They are more concerned with developing a friendship before applying trade. Should I continue this or push for what they would desire?
Leverage their desire for a friendship. Put pressure on them to put them into a corner so that we can make an advantageous deal.
It will be done. And she'll curtsy. That is all that I have. So far, anyway. I'm waiting to hear back on a few things.
You see. How does your work with Lady Katerina go?
It is going well. House of Berlin is secure, and I am moving my ghoul Marcus von Everlich now to secure more noble houses, all while keeping myself in a low profile as well as him, trying to make sure House Vestum has as much allies, but as much ears in the different houses as well.
Keep in mind the circles you're moving within, and that they are far from uninhabited. While Orbellion may be safe for you, the other houses will be a struggle. Most are already obtained to some degree or another.
She'll nod. I will do my utmost to at least gain footholds for us, my lord.
Leverage your mark your corner and hold it. Do not spread yourself too thin, or you'll find such a fragile wall is easily knocked down.
She'll nod.
And of course, I do not have to speak to you on the matters regarding your house in Almaquette.
Not at all, my lord.
Yeah, you'd know that both the Seneschal and the Prince basically collectively claim their house as domain.
Yeah. Yeah, she knows that. Yeah, no, you just say not at all.
Because power mongering, but yes.
Yeah, she just nod.
Keep ties close to Mrs. Nisi and the Malkavians, but be more measured with the Nosferatu.
Understood.
And I expect you not to open us up in any particularly vulnerable way.
Of course not, my lord. In fact, if I have my plan according to the Zimitzi, particularly the Constantine and Martha should be very much in my debt.
Good. I'd also ask that you keep ties between Orsini and Rizmisi warm for the moment. I'm aware this situation has strained your relationship, but his agenda serves us well for now.
Should not. I will do my utmost to keep relations with Orsini warm as well, and make sure the Zimitzi are in line with regards to him. She'll just nod once.
Very well. You have your tasks. Is there anything else you wish to discuss?
Not yet. Once I have more information, I will come to you with what I have found in terms of how to move forward. She will just smile and bow.
Good. Then you may take your leave.
She will deeply bow again and will still face him as she reaches the door, and then will eventually turn around and go collect Eirene.
Lasombra is waiting with a bunch of guards who are basically an armed escort.
Celine just walk up to her very quickly and take her hand and say, "Come on, let's get the fuck out of here," and we'll keep moving.
Carrie, let's go. And I believe with that everyone's departure, we can end our scene there with a rather beleaguered group of Lasombra from probably every angle imaginable. Thank you for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you next time.